Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Daily English Skill Channel. Today, we will learn together about the article A Journey Through America's Heart. The story is about Alex Monroe exploring his family heritage from America to Europe, discovering historical connections to English and Scottish nobility. Along with relatives, he preserves the family story through research, exhibitions, and books, inspiring future generations. As for the specific details of the article, we will go into the detailed lesson together.
Chapter 1: The Awakening. The sun had just begun to rise over the skyline of Boston, casting a warm, golden hue across the city streets. In a modest brick townhouse, nestled in the heart of Beacon Hill, Alex Monroe stirred from his slumber. The morning light filtered through the sheer curtains, gently rousing him from a night of restless dreams. Alex, a young historian with a fervent passion for America's past, stretched and glanced at the clock on his bedside table. It was 7:00 a.m., and the day held a promise of discovery. With a sigh, Alex swung his legs over the side of the bed and stood up. His room was a testament to his love for history, bookshelves lined with worn volumes of American history, a vintage globe on his desk, and old maps adorning the walls. But today, something felt different. There was a sense of anticipation in the air, an inexplicable pull urging him to explore. After a quick shower and a cup of strong black coffee, Alex made his way to the attic, a place he hadn't ventured into since his grandfather's passing. The attic was a treasure trove of family relics, a dusty sanctuary of forgotten memories. As he climbed the narrow wooden stairs, the musty scent of aged paper and cedar filled his nostrils, evoking a flood of childhood memories spent listening to his grandfather's tales of yesteryear. At the top of the stairs, Alex paused, taking in the sight of the cluttered space. Boxes upon boxes of old photographs, letters, and antiques lay scattered about, bathed in the soft glow of the attic window. He began sifting through the items, each one a fragment of his family's history. Hours passed as he lost himself in the past, until his hand brushed against a small, leather-bound journal tucked away in a corner. Curiosity piqued, Alex carefully picked up the journal. The leather was cracked with age, and the pages were yellowed and brittle. He opened it, revealing neat, faded handwriting. The journal belonged to his great-great-grandfather, Thomas Monroe, a man Alex knew little about. Intrigued, he began to read. The first entry was dated June 5, 1863, during the height of the Civil War. Thomas wrote vividly about his experiences as a Union soldier, the camaraderie among the troops, and the horrors of battle. But as Alex read further, he stumbled upon something unexpected: references to a secret mission, one that involved a hidden cache of documents that could alter the course of history. Heart-pounding, Alex realized that this journal was more than just a personal diary. It was a key to a forgotten chapter of America's past. The entries hinted at a conspiracy, a buried truth waiting to be uncovered. The excitement of discovery surged through him, fueling his determination to follow in his ancestors' footsteps. Determined to uncover the secrets within the journal, Alex spent the rest of the day piecing together the clues Thomas had left behind. Each entry led him deeper into a labyrinth of mystery and intrigue, painting a picture of a nation in turmoil and the brave souls who sought to protect its ideals. As the sun set and the attic grew dim, Alex closed the journal, his mind racing with possibilities. This was the awakening he had been waiting for, a chance to uncover a hidden piece of history and share it with the world. With renewed purpose, he vowed to embark on a journey that would take him across the country, exploring the echoes of liberty that resounded through America's heart. Little did he know this journey would change his life forever, challenging his beliefs and revealing the true spirit of a nation forged in the crucible of struggle and triumph. The awakening had begun, and there was no turning back. Chapter 2: The Lost Journal. The morning air was crisp and invigorating as Alex Monroe stepped out of his townhouse, clutching the old leather-bound journal. The echoes of his great-great-grandfather's words still reverberated in his mind, filling him with a sense of urgency and purpose. He hailed a cab and headed to the Boston Public Library, a grand institution that held an extensive collection of historical documents. He needed to delve deeper into the time period and the mysterious mission mentioned in the journal. As the cab weaved through the bustling streets of Boston, Alex's mind raced with questions. Who was Thomas Monroe, really? What was this hidden cache of documents, and why was it so important? The journal had mentioned several names and places that seemed crucial to understanding the bigger picture, and Alex was determined to connect the dots. The library's imposing facade loomed before him, its marble columns and grand entrance, a testament to the city's rich history. Inside, the atmosphere was hushed and reverent, with scholars and students poring over books and manuscripts. Alex made his way to the reference desk, where a kindly librarian named Mrs. Henderson greeted him with a warm smile. "Good morning. How can I help you today?" she asked. "I'm looking for information on the Civil War era, specifically anything related to a man named Thomas Monroe and a secret mission he was involved in," Alex replied, showing her the journal. Mrs. Henderson's eyes widened with interest as she examined the journal. "This is quite a find. Let's see what we can uncover together." She led him to the archives section, a labyrinth of shelves filled with countless documents, letters, and newspapers from the 19th century. As they worked together, Mrs. Henderson brought out several boxes of records, and Alex began sifting through them, searching for any mention of Thomas Monroe or the secret mission. Hours passed as Alex pored over the yellowed pages, cross-referencing dates and events mentioned in the journal. Slowly but surely, a pattern began to emerge. Thomas Monroe had been part of a covert operation sanctioned by the Union Army, aimed at gathering intelligence on Confederate strategies. The journal entries detailed his encounters with key figures of the era, from soldiers and spies to politicians and civilians who played pivotal roles in the war. One entry, dated August 12, 1863, caught Alex's eye. It described a meeting between Thomas and a mysterious informant in a small town near Gettysburg. The informant had provided crucial information about Confederate troop movements, which Thomas was tasked with delivering to Union headquarters. The entry ended with a cryptic note: "The documents are hidden where the old oak stands tall, a testament to our resolve." Alex's heart raced as he read and reread the passage. The old oak must be a landmark, a clue to where the hidden documents could be found. But where was this old oak? He needed more information. As he delved deeper into the archives, Alex came across a faded map of Gettysburg, marked with various landmarks and battle sites. He carefully studied the map, looking for any mention of an old oak tree. Finally, near the outskirts of the town, he found a small, nondescript mark labeled Old Oak. Excitement coursed through him. This was it, the first real lead in his quest. He packed up his notes and thanked Mrs. Henderson for her help, promising to return with any new discoveries. As he left the library, the sun was setting, casting long shadows across the city. The day's search had been fruitful, but Alex knew his journey was just beginning. That night, as he sat in his study, Alex reflected on the day's revelations. The journal had led him to a critical piece of the puzzle, but many questions remained unanswered. What exactly were these documents, and why were they so important? And who was the mysterious informant who had risked everything to help the Union cause? Determined to find out, Alex made plans to travel to Gettysburg. The old oak awaited, its secrets buried beneath layers of history. With the journal as his guide and the fire of discovery burning within him, Alex prepared for the next leg of his journey, ready to unearth the echoes of liberty hidden in America's heart. As he drifted off to sleep, the journal lay open on his desk, a silent testament to the adventures that lay ahead. The lost journal had found its way into his hands, and with it, the promise of untold stories waiting to be brought to light. Chapter 3: The Road Less Traveled. The early morning sun cast a golden glow over the bustling streets of Boston as Alex Monroe stood on the platform at South Station, his heart pounding with anticipation. The leather-bound journal was tucked safely in his backpack, alongside a map of Gettysburg and the notes he'd meticulously compiled at the library. He was about to embark on a journey that would take him deep into America's past, and the excitement was palpable. The train to Pennsylvania was a sleek, modern marvel, but as Alex settled into his seat, his thoughts were consumed by the historical mysteries he sought to unravel. The rhythmic clatter of the train wheels soon lulled him into a meditative state, his mind wandering back to the Civil War era. He envisioned his great-great-grandfather, Thomas Monroe, as a young soldier, braving the chaos and uncertainty of a nation divided. Hours later, the train pulled into the Gettysburg station. Alex stepped off, taking a deep breath of the fresh country air. The small town had a quiet, almost solemn atmosphere, a stark contrast to the frenetic energy of Boston. Gettysburg was a place steeped in history, its very soil stained with the blood of those who had fought and died in one of the most pivotal battles of the Civil War. With his backpack slung over one shoulder, Alex made his way to a nearby bed and breakfast, a charming old house with ivy climbing its brick walls. The innkeeper, Mrs. Thompson, greeted him warmly, her eyes twinkling with curiosity as she took in his youthful enthusiasm. "Welcome to Gettysburg, young man. What brings you to our historic town?" she asked, handing him a brass key. "I'm here to do some research," Alex replied with a smile. "I'm tracing the footsteps of my ancestor, who fought here during the Civil War." Mrs. Thompson's face lit up with interest. "Well, you're in the right place. This town is full of stories waiting to be discovered. If you need any help, don't hesitate to ask." After settling into his cozy room, Alex pulled out the journal and the map, spreading them across the small desk by the window. He traced his finger over the mark labeled Old Oak, trying to visualize its location. The next morning, armed with his notes and a sense of purpose, he set out to find the fabled tree. The journey took him through the heart of Gettysburg, past quaint shops and historic landmarks. As he walked, Alex couldn't help but feel the weight of history pressing down on him. The town was a living museum, each corner whispering tales of courage and sacrifice. Following the map, he ventured beyond the town's borders, into the rolling countryside. The landscape was serene, a stark contrast to the violent conflict that had once ravaged it. After a couple of miles, he reached the edge of a dense forest. Taking a deep breath, Alex stepped onto the narrow path that wound through the trees, the sounds of nature enveloping him. The forest was cool and shadowed, with beams of sunlight piercing the canopy above. As he walked, Alex's thoughts drifted back to Thomas Monroe. What had his great-great-grandfather felt as he navigated these very woods, carrying the weight of a nation's hopes on his shoulders? The journal entries painted a picture of a determined and resourceful man, but there was still so much Alex didn't know. After what felt like hours of trekking through the forest, Alex finally saw the old oak tree. It stood tall and majestic, its gnarled branches reaching toward the sky like ancient arms. The base of the tree was massive, its roots digging deep into the earth, a testament to its enduring strength. Alex's heart raced as he approached the tree, the journal's cryptic words echoing in his mind. "The documents are hidden where the old oak stands tall, a testament to our resolve." He dropped to his knees and began to search around the roots, feeling for any signs of disturbance. The ground was hard and unyielding, but he persisted, driven by the promise of discovery. Finally, his fingers brushed against something solid. Alex carefully cleared away the dirt and leaves, revealing a small, weathered metal box. With trembling hands, he pried it open, revealing a bundle of old, yellowed documents. His breath caught in his throat as he carefully unfolded the first piece of paper, recognizing the official seal of the Union Army. These were the hidden documents his ancestor had mentioned, the ones that could alter the course of history. Alex's mind swirled with questions and possibilities as he carefully examined each page. There were detailed maps, troop movements, and coded messages, all pieces of a puzzle that had been buried for over a century. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows through the forest, Alex knew his journey was far from over. The discovery of the documents was just the beginning. There were still many questions to answer, and the road ahead was uncertain. But with the journal as his guide and the spirit of his great-great-grandfather urging him forward, Alex was ready to uncover the truth and share it with the world. He packed the documents safely in his backpack and began the trek back to town, the weight of history now resting on his shoulders. The road less traveled had led him to this moment, and Alex was determined to honor the legacy of those who had come before him. The journey had only just begun, and he was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, driven by the echoes of liberty that resounded through America's heart. Chapter 4: Voices of the Past. The journey from Gettysburg to Philadelphia was a scenic one, with the rolling hills of Pennsylvania giving way to the urban landscape of one of America's most historic cities. Alex Monroe leaned back in his train seat, the rhythm of the wheels a soothing counterpoint to the whirlwind of thoughts in his mind. The documents he had found at the old oak tree were safely stowed in his backpack, but their significance weighed heavily on him. He was on the cusp of uncovering a forgotten chapter of American history, and his next destination, Independence Hall, was the perfect place to continue his quest. Philadelphia greeted him with its vibrant energy and historic charm. The cobblestone streets, colonial-era buildings, and bustling markets painted a vivid picture of a city where the past and present coexisted in harmony. Alex checked into a small hotel near Independence Hall, its colonial architecture a fitting backdrop for his research. The next morning, with the sun shining brightly overhead, Alex made his way to Independence Hall. The building stood as a beacon of American democracy, its red brick facade and white steeple symbols of the nation's enduring ideals. As he approached, he felt a sense of awe and reverence. This was where the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution had been debated and signed, where the voices of America's founders still seemed to echo. Inside, the air was cool and tinged with history. Tourists milled about, their whispers blending with the voice of a tour guide recounting the events that had taken place within these walls. Alex joined the group, eager to absorb the atmosphere and learn more about the context of his ancestors' mission. The guide, an elderly man with a deep, resonant voice, led them through the assembly room, where the founding fathers had gathered to forge a new nation. As they stood before the iconic rising sun chair, the guide spoke of the challenges and debates that had shaped the birth of America. This room witnessed the courage and determination of men who dared to dream of a free and independent nation, he said, his words resonating deeply with Alex. Their voices still speak to us today, reminding us of the principles upon which our country was built. After the tour, Alex wandered through the adjacent exhibits, immersing himself in the rich tapestry of America's founding. He studied portraits of the founding fathers, letters, and artifacts, each item a tangible link to the past. But it was a particular display that caught his eye: a collection of documents related to the intelligence operations of the Revolutionary War. Intrigued, Alex took out his notebook and began comparing the information with the contents of his great-great-grandfather's journal. It was here that he had a revelation. The names and codes in Thomas Monroe's journal matched those in the Revolutionary War documents. It seemed that Thomas had drawn upon the tactics and strategies of America's earliest spies, using their methods to gather crucial intelligence during the Civil War. The connection between the two eras was profound, underscoring the continuity of America's fight for freedom. Determined to dig deeper, Alex sought out the head archivist of Independence Hall, Dr. Emily Carter. She was a woman in her 50s, with sharp eyes and an encyclopedic knowledge of American history. When Alex explained his discovery and showed her the journal and documents, her eyes widened with interest. "This is an incredible find," Dr. Carter said, carefully examining the papers. "Your great-great-grandfather was clearly involved in something significant. The use of Revolutionary War tactics during the Civil War is a fascinating connection. It suggests a deeper, more strategic effort to ensure the Union's success." Dr. Carter offered to help Alex decipher the codes and piece together the broader narrative. They spent hours in the archives, poring over documents and cross-referencing names, places, and events. With each new piece of information, the puzzle became clearer. Thomas Monroe had been part of a covert network of operatives who had drawn upon America's revolutionary past to shape its future. One evening, as they worked late into the night, Dr. Carter revealed another intriguing lead. There's a private collection in Philadelphia, owned by a descendant of one of Washington's spies. It's said to contain personal letters and diaries that might shed more light on this connection. "I can arrange a meeting for you." Alex's heart raced with anticipation. The prospect of uncovering more secrets from America's past was exhilarating. He thanked Dr. Carter for her invaluable assistance and prepared for the next step of his journey. The following day, Alex visited the private collection, housed in a stately old mansion on the outskirts of the city. The owner, Mr. Benjamin Hawthorne, was a gracious host, his passion for history evident in the meticulous care he had taken to preserve his family's heritage. He led Alex to a dimly lit study filled with shelves of leather-bound books, letters, and artifacts. As they sifted through the collection, Alex found a series of letters between two of Washington's most trusted spies. The letters detailed their methods, code words, and secret meetings information that mirrored the entries in Thomas Monroe's journal. It was clear that Thomas had been inspired by these early patriots, using their techniques to gather intelligence and support the Union cause. One letter, in particular, stood out. It mentioned a hidden cache of documents that had been passed down through generations, a testament to the enduring spirit of America's fight for freedom. The description matched the documents Alex had found at the old oak tree. It was a profound moment, confirming that his great-great-grandfather's mission was part of a larger legacy of courage and determination. With this new knowledge, Alex felt a deep sense of connection to the past. The voices of the founding fathers, the revolutionary spies, and his great-great-grandfather all spoke to him, urging him to continue his quest. He thanked Mr. Hawthorne for his hospitality and left the mansion with a renewed sense of purpose. As he walked back through the streets of Philadelphia, Alex reflected on the journey so far. He had uncovered a hidden chapter of American history, one that spanned centuries and connected the struggles of the Revolutionary War with the Civil War. The voices of the past had guided him, and he was determined to honor their legacy by sharing their stories with the world. The road ahead was still uncertain, but Alex knew he was on the right path. The echoes of liberty resounded through America's heart, and he was ready to listen, learn, and carry their message forward. His journey was far from over, and with each step, he felt the weight of history lifting, replaced by the light of discovery and the promise of truth. Chapter 5: Whispers of Revolution. As the dawn broke over Boston, Alex Monroe packed his belongings, filled with anticipation for his next destination, Boston. The city where the first sparks of the American Revolution had ignited, Boston was a place where whispers of rebellion and freedom still lingered in every corner. He boarded an early train, his heart racing with the prospect of uncovering more about the secret network his great-great-grandfather had been part of. The train ride to Boston was a brief one, and Alex spent the time reviewing his notes. The documents he had found beneath the old oak in Gettysburg, combined with the insights from Philadelphia, painted a vivid picture of a covert operation that spanned generations. It was clear that Thomas Monroe's mission during the Civil War had been inspired by the tactics of revolutionary spies. The connection was profound, and Alex felt a deep sense of purpose as he arrived in Boston, the cradle of American independence. The city welcomed him with its historic charm and modern vibrancy. Alex found a small, cozy hotel near the Freedom Trail, a route that wound through Boston's most significant Revolutionary War sites. His plan was to walk the trail, visiting key locations and searching for clues that might tie his ancestors' mission to the earlier fight for liberty. The following morning, under a clear blue sky, Alex set out on his journey. His first stop was Boston Common, the oldest public park in America, where British troops had once camped. The green expanse was now a peaceful haven, but Alex could almost hear the echoes of marching soldiers and the murmur of colonial dissent. He followed the red brick path of the Freedom Trail, each step taking him deeper into the past. As he walked, Alex's thoughts were filled with images of the past, the fiery speeches at Faneuil Hall, the secret meetings at the Green Dragon Tavern, and the midnight ride of Paul Revere. He arrived at the old State House, its brick façade a silent witness to the birth of a nation. Inside, he marveled at the artifacts and documents that chronicled the events leading up to the Revolution. The balcony, from which the Declaration of Independence had been read to the citizens of Boston, gave him chills as he imagined the fervor of that historic day. Alex's journey continued to the Paul Revere House, where the famous silversmith and patriot had lived. The small, unassuming house was a stark contrast to the monumental impact Revere had on American history. As he explored the rooms, he felt a kinship with Revere and the other patriots who had risked everything for the cause of freedom. Their courage and determination mirrored the resolve he had seen in his great-great-grandfather's journal. His next stop was the Old North Church, where the famous signal lanterns had been hung to alert the patriots of the British advance. The church's steeple towered above him as he climbed the narrow stairs to the top, imagining the tension and excitement of that fateful night. At the summit, he looked out over the city, feeling a profound connection to the past and the enduring spirit of rebellion that had sparked a revolution. As the day waned, Alex found himself at the Green Dragon Tavern, now a bustling pub but once a meeting place for the Sons of Liberty. He sat at a corner table, the journal and documents spread before him, and ordered a drink. The atmosphere was lively, filled with the hum of conversation and clinking glasses, but Alex's mind was focused on his research. He cross-referenced names, dates, and locations, piecing together the network of spies and informants that had supported both the Revolutionary and Civil War efforts. Just as he was about to leave, an elderly man at the next table leaned over and spoke. "I couldn't help but notice your interest in our history," he said with a twinkle in his eye. "I'm John. Been studying Boston's past for over 50 years. Anything I can help you with?" Alex smiled, grateful for the unexpected assistance. "Actually, yes. I'm trying to trace the activities of a group of spies who operated during the Revolutionary War and continued their efforts into the Civil War. My great-great-grandfather, Thomas Monroe, was part of this network." John's eyes widened with interest. "That's quite the quest you're on." The Green Dragon was indeed a hub for revolutionary activities. The spies you're referring to were part of the Culper Ring, an intelligence network that was crucial to Washington's strategy. They used coded messages, invisible ink, and secret signals to pass information. Many of their techniques were passed down and used in later conflicts. Excited, Alex showed John the journal and the documents. John examined them carefully, nodding in recognition. These codes and methods were definitely inspired by the Culper Ring. It's fascinating to see how this network evolved and adapted over time. There's a place you should visit, the Old South Meeting House. It was a center for revolutionary discourse and might hold more clues about your ancestors' activities. The next morning, Alex made his way to the Old South Meeting House. The grand, historic building had once been the largest gathering place in colonial Boston, where fiery debates and impassioned speeches had stoked the flames of rebellion. Inside, the atmosphere was solemn, with exhibits detailing the building's storied past. As he explored, Alex came across a collection of letters and diaries from the Revolutionary period. One diary, in particular, caught his eye. It belonged to a woman named Abigail Adams, a key figure in the Revolution and a close confidant of many patriots. Her entries detailed secret meetings and coded messages exchanged among the spies. Alex was struck by the parallels to his great-great-grandfather's journal. The final piece of the puzzle fell into place when Alex found a letter tucked inside the diary. It was addressed to Thomas Monroe, dated shortly after the Battle of Gettysburg. The letter praised Thomas for his bravery and ingenuity, drawing direct connections between his actions and the tactics used by the Culper Ring. It was a clear indication that the legacy of the revolutionary spies had been passed down and adapted for the Union's cause. With this newfound understanding, Alex felt a deep sense of fulfillment. His journey had revealed a hidden chapter of American history, one that spanned centuries and connected the struggles for freedom in profound ways. The whispers of revolution had guided him, leading him to uncover the enduring spirit of liberty that had shaped the nation. As he left the Old South Meeting House, Alex knew his journey was far from over. There were still many stories to tell and secrets to uncover. The voices of the past had spoken, and it was now his mission to share their legacy with the world. With renewed determination, he set his sights on the next chapter of his quest, ready to continue the journey that had begun with a simple journal and a burning desire to uncover the truth. The road ahead was filled with uncertainty, but Alex embraced it with open arms. The echoes of liberty resounded through America's heart, and he was ready to listen, learn, and carry their message forward. The journey of discovery was endless, and Alex knew that each step he took brought him closer to understanding the true essence of freedom and the sacrifices made to secure it. Chapter 6: Shadows of Concord. The road from Boston to Concord was a picturesque one, winding through the verdant New England countryside. Alex Monroe drove with the windows down, the cool breeze and the scent of pine filling the car. His thoughts were consumed by the revelations of the past few days. The connection between the Revolutionary War spies and his great-great-grandfather's mission during the Civil War was undeniable. Concord, the site of the first battle of the American Revolution, was his next destination. The small town held a wealth of history, and, Alex hoped, more clues about the secret network that had spanned generations. He arrived in Concord as the afternoon sun cast a warm glow over the town. The streets were lined with charming colonial houses, their gardens bursting with summer blooms. Alex checked into a quaint bed and breakfast, the kind proprietor offering him a map of the town's historic sites. He thanked her and set out to explore, his first stop the Old North Bridge, where the shot heard around the world had been fired. As Alex stood on the bridge, looking out over the placid waters of the Concord River, he tried to imagine the chaos and fear of that fateful day in 1775. The serenity of the scene belied the violence that had once erupted here. He walked along the trail, reading the plaques and markers that recounted the events of the battle. It was here that ordinary farmers and townsfolk had taken a stand against British tyranny, igniting a revolution that would change the course of history. From the bridge, Alex made his way to the Concord Museum. The museum was a treasure trove of artifacts and documents from the Revolutionary War period. He spent hours engrossed in the exhibits, studying maps, weapons, and personal items that had belonged to the early patriots. The museum's director, a knowledgeable historian named Dr. Margaret Winslow, noticed his keen interest and approached him. "You're quite the history enthusiast," she remarked with a smile. "Is there something specific you're looking for?" Alex explained his quest, showing her the journal and the documents he had found. Dr. Winslow listened intently, her eyes lighting up with interest. "This is fascinating. Your great-great-grandfather's connection to the Culper Ring and the use of their tactics during the Civil War is a remarkable discovery. There might be more information in our archives that could help you." She led him to the museum's archives, a room filled with shelves of old books, letters, and diaries. As they sifted through the materials, Dr. Winslow shared stories of Concord's role in the Revolution, emphasizing the town's importance as a center of resistance and intelligence. Alex felt a renewed sense of purpose. He was on the right track, and Concord held more pieces of the puzzle. Among the dusty volumes and faded papers, they found a collection of letters written by members of the Sons of Liberty, a secret organization of patriots who had played a crucial role in the fight for independence. One letter, in particular, caught Alex's eye. It was addressed to a man named Samuel Prescott, a lesser-known figure who had assisted Paul Revere on his midnight ride. The letter detailed a secret meeting place used by the Sons of Liberty for their clandestine operations. The location was described as a small cabin hidden in the woods near Walden Pond, just outside of Concord. Excitement surged through Alex as he realized this could be the lead he needed. He thanked Dr. Winslow for her help and promised to share any new discoveries with the museum. The next morning, Alex set out for Walden Pond, a place made famous by the writer Henry David Thoreau, who had lived there in a simple cabin and penned his reflections on nature and society. The pond was a serene, reflective body of water surrounded by dense woods. Alex followed the trails, his mind filled with thoughts of Thoreau's writings and the secret activities that might have taken place here centuries ago. After an hour of hiking, he reached a secluded area where the trees grew thick and the underbrush was dense. He consulted the letter again, looking for the landmarks described within. Finally, he spotted a large, moss-covered boulder that marked the entrance to a narrow path. His heart pounded with excitement as he followed the trail, the forest closing in around him. The path led to a small clearing, and there, nestled among the trees, was a dilapidated cabin. It was weathered and overgrown with vines, but it matched the description in the letter perfectly. Alex approached cautiously, the wooden floorboards creaking under his weight. Inside, the cabin was dark and musty, with remnants of old furniture and tools scattered about. He began to search the cabin, looking for any hidden compartments or secret caches. His persistence paid off when he found a loose floorboard near the hearth. Carefully, he pried it up, revealing a small, dust-covered box. His hands trembled as he opened it, revealing a collection of letters, maps, and coded messages. These documents were similar to those he had found in Gettysburg, but older and more fragile. They detailed the activities of the Sons of Liberty, their plans, and their secret communications. One document in particular stood out, a detailed map of Concord and its surroundings, marked with locations of safe houses and hidden supplies. It was clear that this network had been well organized and deeply committed to the cause of freedom. As Alex studied the documents, he felt a profound connection to the past. The courage and determination of these early patriots resonated deeply with him. They had risked everything for the dream of independence, and their legacy had inspired generations, including his great-great-grandfather. He carefully packed the documents and made his way back to town, his mind racing with thoughts of how to piece together this incredible story. That evening, back at the bed and breakfast, Alex reviewed his findings. The journey from Concord to Philadelphia to Gettysburg had revealed a hidden network of spies and patriots whose efforts had shaped the course of American history. The legacy of the Culper Ring and the Sons of Liberty had been carried forward by individuals like Thomas Monroe, who had drawn upon their tactics to fight for the Union during the Civil War. The echoes of liberty reverberated through time, connecting the struggles of the Revolutionary War with those of the Civil War. Alex knew that his journey was far from over. There were still many questions to answer and stories to uncover. But he felt a renewed sense of purpose and determination. He would continue to follow the trail, guided by the voices of the past and the enduring spirit of freedom that had defined America. With each step, he felt closer to understanding the true essence of liberty and the sacrifices made to secure it. The road ahead was filled with challenges and uncertainties, but Alex embraced them with resolve. He was ready to honor the legacy of those who had come before him and carry their message forward. The journey of discovery was endless, and Alex was prepared to see it through, driven by the whispers of revolution that resounded through America's heart.
Chapter 7: Secrets of the Underground. Alex Monroe arrived in Richmond, Virginia, as the sun was setting, casting a warm glow over the historic city. Richmond had been the capital of the Confederacy, and its streets were steeped in Civil War history. Alex had come here to uncover the final pieces of the puzzle, to understand how his great-great-grandfather's covert activities had influenced the war's outcome. He checked into a small inn near the James River, the water shimmering in the twilight. The innkeeper, a friendly woman named Mrs. Turner, gave him a warm welcome. Over a cup of tea, Alex explained his quest, and she nodded thoughtfully. "Richmond holds many secrets," she said. "If you're looking for hidden history, the Confederate White House and the Museum of the Confederacy are good places to start. You might also want to visit some of the old homes and businesses that were involved in the war effort." The next morning, Alex set out for the Confederate White House. The stately mansion, now a museum, had once been the home of Confederate President Jefferson Davis. As Alex walked through the grand halls, he tried to imagine the tense discussions and desperate decisions that had taken place here. The exhibits detailed the political and military strategies of the Confederacy, but Alex was more interested in the lesser-known stories of espionage and intelligence. One exhibit focused on the Confederate Secret Service, a shadowy organization that had conducted espionage and sabotage against the Union. Alex studied the artifacts and documents, noting the similarities to the activities described in his great-great-grandfather's journal. It was clear that both sides had relied heavily on covert operations, and the tactics used by the Confederacy had often mirrored those of the Union. After leaving the museum, Alex made his way to the Museum of the Confederacy, where he hoped to find more detailed records. The museum was a treasure trove of Civil War history, with exhibits ranging from military uniforms to personal letters. As he explored, he found a section dedicated to the Union's intelligence efforts, highlighting the work of spies and informants who had infiltrated the Confederate government. In the archives, Alex met with Dr. William Harris, a historian specializing in Civil War espionage. Dr. Harris was intrigued by Alex's research and offered to help him sift through the records. Together, they pored over letters, maps, and coded messages, searching for any mention of Thomas Monroe or his network. It was in a collection of recently acquired documents that they struck gold. A series of letters exchanged between a Confederate spy and an unknown Union informant detailed the transfer of critical information about troop movements and supply lines. The informant's code name, Liberty, matched the signature in Thomas Monroe's journal. Alex's heart raced as he realized that his great-great-grandfather had been instrumental in providing intelligence that had helped turn the tide of the war. Dr. Harris was equally excited. "This is a significant find," he said. "It confirms that your ancestor was a key player in the Union's intelligence network. His efforts likely saved countless lives and contributed to the ultimate victory." With this new information, Alex felt a profound sense of connection to his great-great-grandfather. He decided to visit some of the locations mentioned in the letters, hoping to uncover more details about Thomas Monroe's activities in Richmond. One of the letters referenced a safe house in Church Hill, a historic neighborhood known for its beautiful old homes and cobblestone streets. Alex walked through Church Hill, following the descriptions in the letters. He found the house, a stately brick building with a weathered sign indicating it had once been a boarding house. The current owner, a middle-aged woman named Clara, was fascinated by Alex's story and invited him in. As they explored the house, Clara showed Alex a hidden compartment in the attic, where she had found old papers and artifacts. Among them was a journal belonging to a woman named Lydia Everett, who had operated the boarding house during the Civil War. Lydia's entries detailed her work as a Union informant, hiding fugitives, and passing on critical information to agents like Thomas Monroe. Alex felt a deep sense of awe and gratitude as he read Lydia's journal. Her bravery and dedication mirrored that of his great-great-grandfather. Together, They had been part of a vast clandestine network that had worked tirelessly to undermine the Confederacy from within. Claire offered to let Alex keep Lydia's journal, recognizing its importance to his research. He thanked her profusely and returned to his inn, where he spent the evening transcribing the entries and cross-referencing them with his other documents. The picture that emerged was one of remarkable courage and ingenuity, a testament to the resilience and determination of those who had fought for the Union. The next day, Alex visited Libby Prison, a notorious Confederate prison where many Union soldiers and spies had been held. The grim, imposing building stood as a stark reminder of the war's brutality. As he walked through the cells, he tried to imagine the conditions his great-great-grandfather might have faced if he had been captured. In the prison's museum, Alex found more records of Union spies who had been imprisoned and later escaped or were exchanged. These accounts provided further context for the dangers Thomas Monroe had faced and the lengths to which he had gone to complete his mission. With each new discovery, Alex felt a deeper connection to his ancestor and a greater appreciation for the sacrifices made by those who had fought for freedom. The journey from Gettysburg to Philadelphia to Boston, and now Richmond, had revealed a hidden chapter of American history, one that spanned generations and connected the struggles of the Revolutionary War with those of the Civil War. As he prepared to leave Richmond, Alex felt a sense of fulfillment and purpose. He had uncovered the truth about his great-great-grandfather's role in the war and the legacy of the covert network that had spanned centuries. The echoes of liberty had guided him, leading him to a deeper understanding of the sacrifices and triumphs that had shaped America. The road ahead was still uncertain, but Alex embraced it with resolve. He knew there were more stories to uncover, more voices of the past to listen to. The journey of discovery was endless, and Alex was ready to continue it, driven by the whispers of revolution and the enduring spirit of freedom that resounded through America's heart. Chapter 8. The Hidden Network. Leaving Richmond behind, Alex Monroe headed west towards Harper's Ferry, West Virginia. Nestled at the confluence of the Potomac and Shenandoah rivers, Harper's Ferry had been a strategic location during both the Revolutionary War and the Civil War. It was here that John Brown had made his famous raid in 1859, a pivotal moment in the struggle against slavery that had further intensified the nation's divisions. The town itself was quaint and picturesque, with its well-preserved historic buildings and scenic views of the surrounding mountains. Alex checked into a small inn, its charming decor reflecting the town's rich history. As he settled in, he reviewed the documents and letters he had gathered so far, trying to piece together the final elements of his great-great-grandfather's story. The next morning, Alex set out to explore the town. His first stop was the Harper's Ferry National Historical Park, where he hoped to find more clues about the covert activities that had taken place there. The park was bustling with tourists, but Alex managed to find a quiet spot in the museum where he could focus on his research. Among the exhibits, he found detailed accounts of John Brown's raid and the subsequent events that had unfolded in Harper's Ferry. The town had been a hotbed of abolitionist activity, with many residents supporting the cause of freedom and equality. As Alex delved deeper into the history, he discovered that Harper's Ferry had also been a hub for the Underground Railroad, the secret network that had helped enslaved people escape to freedom in the North. Intrigued by this connection, Alex decided to visit the Kennedy farmhouse, where John Brown and his followers had planned their raid. The farmhouse was located a few miles outside of town, nestled in a quiet wooded area. As Alex approached the old weathered building, he felt a sense of reverence for the bravery and determination of those who had fought for justice and equality. Inside the farmhouse, Alex met with a caretaker, an elderly man named Mr. Johnson, who had spent years studying the history of John Brown and the abolitionist movement. Mr. Johnson was fascinated by Alex's research and offered to show him some rare documents and artifacts that were not on public display. In a small, dusty room at the back of the farmhouse, Mr. Johnson unlocked a cabinet and carefully removed a bundle of papers. Among them were letters and diaries from Brown's associates, detailing their plans and strategies. One letter in particular, caught Alex's eye. It was from a man named James Monroe, addressed to Thomas Monroe. The letter revealed that James had been part of the Underground Railroad and had worked closely with John Brown to coordinate the escape of enslaved individuals from the South. Alex's heart raced as he realized that his great-great-grandfather had not only been involved in espionage during the Civil War, but had also played a crucial role in the fight against slavery. The connection between the two men was clear. They had both been driven by a deep commitment to freedom and justice, risking their lives to fight for what they believed in. Mr. Johnson was equally excited by the discovery. "This is a remarkable find," he said. "It shows that the network of spies and informants extended beyond military intelligence. They were also deeply involved in the abolitionist movement, using their skills and connections to support the cause of freedom." With this new understanding, Alex felt a profound sense of pride and gratitude for his ancestors. Their courage and dedication had helped shape the course of American history, contributing to both the fight for independence and the struggle for equality. Determined to learn more, Alex decided to follow the path of the Underground Railroad. He visited several safe houses in the area, meeting with historians and local experts who shared stories of the brave men and women who had risked everything to help others escape from bondage. Each stop on his journey revealed new details about the secret network that had operated in the shadows, providing a lifeline to those seeking freedom. One of the most moving experiences was his visit to the home of Harriet Tubman, one of the most famous conductors of the Underground Railroad. The modest house, now a museum, was filled with artifacts and exhibits that told the story of Tubman's incredible life. As Alex walked through the rooms, he felt a deep sense of awe and respect for her courage and determination. In the museum's archives, he found more letters and documents that detailed the operations of the Underground Railroad. Among them were several references to a man named Thomas Monroe, who had used his skills as a spy to help coordinate the escape routes and provide safe passage for those fleeing the South. As he pieced together the final elements of his great-great-grandfather's story, Alex realized that the network of spies and informants had been much larger and more interconnected than he had ever imagined. The same individuals who had fought for independence during the Revolutionary War had passed down their knowledge and tactics to the next generation, who had used them in the fight against slavery and, later, in the Civil War. The echoes of liberty resounded through the centuries, connecting the struggles and triumphs of different generations. Alex felt a deep sense of fulfillment and purpose, knowing that he was part of a legacy that had fought tirelessly for freedom and justice. As he prepared to leave Harper's Ferry, Alex knew that his journey was far from over. There were still many stories to uncover, many voices of the past to listen to. But he felt a renewed sense of resolve and determination, ready to continue his quest and share the incredible story of his ancestors with the world. The road ahead was filled with challenges and uncertainties, but Alex embraced them with open arms. The journey of discovery was endless, and he was ready to see it through, driven by the whispers of revolution and the enduring spirit of freedom that had defined America. Chapter 9: Echoes Across Generations. From Harper's Ferry, Alex Monroe journeyed southward, following the trail of his ancestors to Charleston, South Carolina. Charleston was a city rich in history, its cobblestone streets and antebellum architecture bearing witness to centuries of triumphs and tribulations. Here, Alex hoped to uncover the final pieces of his family's story and understand how their legacy had shaped the course of American history. He checked into a historic inn overlooking Charleston Harbor, where the sea breeze carried the scent of salt and adventure. As he settled into his room, Alex reflected on the remarkable journey that had brought him here from the battlefields of Gettysburg to the halls of power in Philadelphia, from the cobblestone streets of Boston to the quiet woods of Harper's Ferry. The next morning, Alex set out to explore Charleston's historic district. His first stop was the Old Exchange and Provost Dungeon, a colonial-era building that had served as a customs house, a Revolutionary War prison, and a site for political assemblies. Inside, he found exhibits detailing Charleston's pivotal role in the struggle for independence and the challenges faced by early patriots. Among the artifacts, Alex discovered a collection of letters and documents related to the siege of Charleston during the Revolutionary War. The city had been a key target for British forces, and its fall had dealt a significant blow to the American cause. Alex was struck by the parallels to his great-great-grandfather's experiences in Gettysburg and Philadelphia. Both had been places where decisive battles had shaped the course of history. From the Old Exchange, Alex made his way to the Charleston Museum, the oldest museum in the United States. Here, he hoped to find more clues about the covert activities of Revolutionary War spies and their impact on subsequent generations. The museum's extensive collection included weapons, uniforms, and personal belongings from the Revolutionary and Civil Wars, providing a vivid glimpse into the lives of those who had fought for freedom. In the museum's archives, Alex met with Dr. Elizabeth Ward, a historian specializing in Southern history. Dr. Ward was intrigued by Alex's research and offered to assist him in searching through the museum's extensive collection of documents and manuscripts. Together, they uncovered a series of letters exchanged between Thomas Monroe and a network of spies operating in Charleston during the Revolutionary War. The letters detailed covert missions, coded messages, and secret meetings, shedding light on the intricate web of espionage that had helped secure Charleston's strategic position. One letter, in particular, caught Alex's attention. It was from a woman named Rebecca Simmons, a Charleston native who had risked her life to pass crucial information to the Continental Army. Rebecca's bravery and resourcefulness reminded Alex of the countless unsung heroes who had played vital roles in the fight for independence. Encouraged by their findings, Alex and Dr. Ward continued their research, visiting historic sites and meeting with local historians who shared stories of Charleston's revolutionary past. They visited the Hayward Washington House, where George Washington had stayed during his visit to Charleston in 1791. The elegant Georgian mansion offered insights into the city's elite society and its connections to the broader struggle for freedom. As they explored the house, Alex found a hidden compartment in one of the old desks, a cache of letters and documents dating back to the Revolutionary era. Among them was a letter addressed to Thomas Monroe, congratulating him on his successful mission in Charleston and praising his courage and dedication to the cause of liberty. With each new discovery, Alex felt a deeper connection to his great-great-grandfather and the legacy of service and sacrifice that had been passed down through the generations. The network of spies and informants that Thomas Monroe had been a part of had not only shaped the outcome of the Revolutionary War, but had also laid the groundwork for future generations to continue the fight for freedom. As the sun set over Charleston Harbor, Alex stood on the Battery, a historic seawall that offered sweeping views of the city and its storied past. The echoes of liberty resounded through the centuries, connecting the struggles and triumphs of different generations. Alex knew that his journey was nearing its end, but he also understood that the legacy of his ancestors would live on in the stories he had uncovered and the lessons he had learned. With a renewed sense of purpose, Alex prepared to return home, carrying with him the incredible story of his family's contributions to American history. The road ahead was still uncertain, but he was ready to embrace the challenges and continue the journey of discovery, guided by the whispers of revolution and the enduring spirit of freedom that had shaped his ancestors' lives. As he boarded the train back to Philadelphia, Alex reflected on the words of his great-great-grandfather, written so many years ago. The fight for liberty is never easy, but it is always worth fighting for. Chapter 10. The Legacy Unveiled. Back in Philadelphia, Alex Monroe sat in the study of his family's ancestral home, surrounded by the artifacts and documents that had guided him on his remarkable journey. The city bustled outside, but inside, the air was filled with a quiet sense of reflection and anticipation. Over the past months, Alex had traversed the length and breadth of America, following in the footsteps of his great-great-grandfather, Thomas Monroe. From the battlefields of Gettysburg to the cobblestone streets of Boston, from the quiet woods of Harper's Ferry to the historic sites of Charleston, Alex had uncovered a hidden network of spies and patriots whose efforts had shaped the course of American history. Now, as he sifted through the final pieces of his research, Alex felt a deep sense of fulfillment and gratitude. The journey had been both a personal quest and a voyage of discovery into the heart of America's past. Each chapter had revealed new insights and connections, weaving together the stories of ordinary men and women who had risen to extraordinary challenges. The documents spread out before him told a story of courage and determination, of sacrifices made and victories won. Thomas Monroe's journal, with its cryptic entries and meticulous notes, had provided a roadmap through the complexities of Revolutionary and Civil War espionage. Letters exchanged between spies in Boston and Charleston had illuminated the covert operations that had helped secure America's independence and preserve the Union. But more than that, Alex had discovered a legacy of service and sacrifice that had been passed down through generations. Thomas Monroe's commitment to liberty and justice had inspired others to follow in his footsteps, from the Underground Railroad conductors in Harper's Ferry to the abolitionists in Charleston. Their stories were a testament to the enduring spirit of freedom that had defined America's journey from colony to nation. As he reflected on his journey, Alex realized that the lessons he had learned went beyond mere historical facts. They spoke to the values that had shaped his family's identity and his own sense of purpose. The echoes of liberty had guided him through the darkest days of war and the brightest moments of triumph, showing him that the fight for justice was a continuous journey passed down from one generation to the next. With a sense of reverence, Alex gathered the documents and carefully packed them away. They were not just pieces of paper, they were a testament to the resilience and determination of those who had come before him. They were a reminder that the struggle for freedom was ongoing, requiring vigilance and courage in the face of adversity. As he closed the lid of the old trunk that had belonged to Thomas Monroe, Alex felt a deep sense of connection to his ancestors and their enduring legacy. Their stories had become a part of him, shaping his understanding of what it meant to be an American and a steward of liberty. Outside, the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the city of Philadelphia. Alex knew that his journey was far from over, that there were still stories waiting to be uncovered and voices waiting to be heard. But he also knew that he carried with him the wisdom and strength of those who had gone before him, guiding him on the path forward. With renewed determination, Alex Monroe set out to share the incredible story of his family's contributions to American history. From the battlefields of Gettysburg to the halls of power in Philadelphia, from the cobblestone streets of Boston to the quiet woods of Harper's Ferry, he would honor their legacy and inspire others to carry the torch of liberty into the future. As he walked through the streets of Philadelphia, Alex felt a profound sense of gratitude for the journey that had brought him here. The road ahead was uncertain, but he knew that he was not alone. With the echoes of liberty ringing in his ears, he stepped forward into the future, ready to embrace whatever challenges and opportunities lay ahead. The legacy of Thomas Monroe and the hidden network of spies and patriots would live on in the hearts and minds of those who heard his story. And as long as there were men and women willing to fight for freedom and justice, America's journey would continue, guided by the enduring spirit of those who had come before. And so, the tale of Alex Monroe's journey came to a close, a testament to the power of history and the resilience of the human spirit.
Chapter 11: The Tapestry of Heritage. After completing his extensive travels across America, Alex Monroe found himself back in his hometown of Philadelphia, where he decided to delve deeper into his family's personal archives. The Monroe family estate, a stately home nestled in the suburbs, held a treasure trove of artifacts and heirlooms that spanned generations. As Alex entered the grand foyer of the estate, he was greeted by the familiar scent of aged wood and polished brass. The walls were adorned with portraits of his ancestors, their stern faces and proud postures reflecting the history and legacy they had left behind. Each portrait seemed to whisper a story, urging Alex to uncover the secrets hidden within the family's past. He made his way to the library, a room lined with floor-to-ceiling bookshelves filled with leather-bound volumes and dusty manuscripts. The library had always been a sanctuary for Alex, a place where he could lose himself in the pages of history and unravel the mysteries of the past. At the center of the room stood an ornate mahogany desk where generations of Monroes had recorded their thoughts and experiences. Among the papers and ledgers, Alex found Thomas Monroe's personal journal, the same journal that had guided him on his journey across America. Its weathered pages were filled with detailed accounts of Thomas's missions and encounters, providing a first-hand glimpse into the life of a Revolutionary War spy. As Alex flipped through the journal, he discovered new entries and insights that had not been included in his earlier research. Thomas Monroe's meticulous observations and cryptic notes revealed a deeper understanding of the challenges and triumphs he had faced during the war. It was clear that Thomas had been driven by a profound sense of duty and honor, willing to risk everything for the sake of liberty. But the journal also contained passages that spoke to Thomas's personal life, the joys and sorrows he had experienced, the bonds of family and friendship that had sustained him through difficult times. Alex found himself drawn into Thomas's world, empathizing with the struggles and aspirations that had shaped his ancestors' character. In addition to the journal, Alex uncovered a collection of letters exchanged between Thomas and his wife, Elizabeth. The letters spanned the years of Thomas's service in the Continental Army, offering a poignant glimpse into their enduring love and the sacrifices they had made for each other. Elizabeth's words were filled with pride and concern for her husband's safety, while Thomas's replies spoke of his longing to return home and reunite with his beloved family. Moved by the depth of their devotion, Alex realized that his journey had not only been about uncovering historical facts, but also about reconnecting with his family's heritage. The Monroe legacy was more than just a series of events, it was a tapestry of courage, resilience, and love that had been woven through the generations. As he continued to explore the family archives, Alex discovered other artifacts that shed light on different chapters of the Monroe family's history. There were military medals awarded to ancestors who had fought in wars long past, heirloom jewelry passed down from mother to daughter, and faded photographs capturing moments of joy and sorrow. One particularly intriguing find was a collection of documents related to Alex's great-grandmother, Eleanor Monroe, who had been a suffragist and advocate for women's rights in the early 20th century. Eleanor's speeches and writings revealed her passion for equality and justice, echoing the same ideals that had driven Thomas and his comrades during the Revolutionary War. Inspired by Eleanor's legacy, Alex decided to delve deeper into her work and the contributions of other women in his family's history. He uncovered stories of resilience and determination, from pioneering settlers who had braved the frontier to educators who had championed access to education for all children. With each new discovery, Alex felt a renewed sense of pride in his family's heritage and a deeper connection to the values that had shaped their lives. The Monroe estate, once a place of quiet reflection, had become a vibrant tapestry of stories and memories, a testament to the enduring spirit of those who had come before. As he prepared to share his findings with his family and the broader community, Alex knew that the journey of discovery was far from over. There were still stories waiting to be uncovered, voices waiting to be heard, and lessons waiting to be learned. But as he stood in the library, surrounded by the echoes of his family's past, Alex felt a profound sense of gratitude. The journey had not only deepened his understanding of American history, but it also enriched his own sense of identity and purpose. With a renewed determination to honor the legacy of Thomas Monroe and the countless others who had shaped his family's history, Alex Monroe set out to preserve their stories for future generations. From the quiet suburbs of Philadelphia to the bustling streets of America's cities, he would carry their voices with him, weaving their tales into the fabric of America's ongoing journey toward freedom and justice. And so, the tale of Alex Monroe's journey came to a poignant conclusion, a testament to the power of history, the resilience of the human spirit, and the enduring legacy of those who had come before. Chapter 12: Passing the Torch. As Alex Monroe continued to delve into his family's history and legacy, he felt a growing sense of responsibility to share their stories with the world. Inspired by the discoveries he had made and the lessons he had learned, Alex embarked on a new chapter of his journey, a journey of preservation and education. Preservation efforts. Alex began by cataloging and preserving the artifacts and documents he had collected throughout his travels. With the help of experts and historians, he created a comprehensive archive that would ensure his family's legacy was safeguarded for future generations. Each item, from Thomas Monroe's journal to Eleanor Monroe's suffragist speeches, was carefully digitized and stored in a secure repository. Educational initiatives. Building on his research, Alex developed educational programs and exhibits to share his family's history with the public. He collaborated with museums, schools, and community organizations to create interactive displays and lectures that highlighted the contributions of his ancestors to American history. Through these initiatives, Alex aimed to inspire a new generation of students and historians to explore the rich tapestry of America's past. Community outreach. Recognizing the importance of community engagement, Alex organized outreach events and discussions to foster dialogue about historical preservation and heritage. He invited local residents, historians, and descendants of other Revolutionary War and Civil War figures to participate in storytelling sessions and workshops. Together, they explored the interconnectedness of their family histories and the enduring impact of their ancestors' actions. Publication and legacy. To reach a broader audience, Alex collaborated with writers and publishers to create a book documenting his family's journey and contributions to American history. The book, filled with photographs, personal anecdotes, and historical insights, became a testament to the resilience and determination of the Monroe family. Its publication marked a milestone in Alex's quest to honor his ancestors and preserve their legacy for future generations. Reflection and future plans. Throughout this process, Alex took time to reflect on his own journey of discovery and personal growth. He visited significant historical sites once more, now with a deeper understanding and appreciation for their significance. Standing on the grounds where his ancestors had stood, Alex felt a profound sense of connection to the past and a renewed commitment to carry forward their values of liberty, justice, and equality. As Alex Monroe concluded his exploration and preservation efforts, he knew that the journey of discovery was ongoing. The stories of Thomas Monroe, Eleanor Monroe, and countless others had become woven into the fabric of American history, a tapestry of courage, sacrifice, and resilience that continued to inspire and guide future generations. With a sense of fulfillment and purpose, Alex looked ahead to the future, knowing that he had fulfilled his mission to honor his family's legacy. As he passed the torch to those who would follow, Alex Monroe stood as a steward of history, committed to preserving the stories that had shaped his identity and the nation he called home. Chapter 13. The Reunion. Months had passed since Alex Monroe had completed his monumental journey across America, uncovering the hidden stories and legacies of his ancestors. Yet, amidst his research and preservation efforts, Alex had always felt a lingering sense of unfinished business, a missing piece of the puzzle that he couldn't quite identify. It was on a crisp autumn day that Alex received an unexpected letter in the mail. The envelope bore a familiar insignia, an intricate wax seal that he instantly recognized as belonging to the Monroe family. Curiosity piqued, Alex carefully opened the letter and read its contents with growing anticipation. The letter was from a distant cousin, Catherine Monroe, who had stumbled upon Alex's research and had been captivated by the family's shared history. Catherine explained that she too had been exploring their lineage and had made some astonishing discoveries of her own. She proposed a meeting to compare notes and share insights that could potentially fill in the gaps in each other's research. Eager to connect with a living descendant and intrigued by the prospect of uncovering new information, Alex agreed to meet Catherine at a quaint cafe in downtown Philadelphia. As he entered the cafe, he scanned the room until his eyes settled on a woman who bore a striking resemblance to the Monroe family portraits he had grown up with. Catherine greeted him with a warm smile, and they soon found themselves engrossed in animated conversation. Over cups of steaming coffee, they exchanged stories of their respective journeys of discovery, Alex recounting his travels across America, and Catherine sharing her research into the Monroe family's European roots and connections. Through their discussion, Alex learned that Catherine had uncovered letters and documents that traced their family's lineage back several centuries, revealing surprising connections to European nobility and prominent figures in medieval history. These discoveries shed new light on the Monroe family's origins and provided a deeper understanding of their cultural and historical heritage. But more than that, Alex and Catherine discovered a shared passion for preserving their family's legacy and ensuring that future generations would continue to cherish and learn from their ancestors' stories. They discussed collaborative efforts to expand their research, create new educational initiatives, and connect with other Monroe descendants around the world. As they parted ways that evening, Alex felt a profound sense of gratitude for Catherine's insights and the newfound bond they had forged. The reunion had not only filled in missing pieces of the Monroe family puzzle, but had also opened up new avenues of exploration and collaboration. With renewed enthusiasm, Alex returned to his research and preservation efforts, armed with a deeper understanding of his family's global connections and cultural heritage. The journey of discovery had taken him from the battlefields of America's past to the cafes of modern-day Philadelphia, weaving together stories of courage, resilience, and the enduring power of family ties. As he reflected on the day's events, Alex knew that his journey was far from over. There were still stories waiting to be uncovered, connections waiting to be made, and legacies waiting to be honored. With Catherine's partnership and the support of Monroe descendants worldwide, Alex Monroe embarked on the next chapter of his quest to preserve and celebrate the Monroe family's rich history for generations to come. Chapter 14. The journey continues. After the inspiring reunion with Catherine Monroe, Alex felt a renewed sense of purpose in his quest to uncover and preserve his family's history. Armed with new insights and connections, he embarked on a journey that would take him beyond American shores and into the heart of Europe, the ancestral homeland of the Monroe family. Exploring European roots, Alex began his European expedition by traveling to England, where the Monroe family's lineage had deep historical roots. In London, he visited archives and historical societies, searching for records that would trace the Monroe family's origins back to their ancestral homeland. He uncovered documents detailing the Monroe family's connections to English nobility and their contributions to British history. Journey through Scotland. From England, Alex traveled north to Scotland, where he explored the rugged landscapes and ancient castles that had once been home to his ancestors. In Edinburgh, he visited the National Library of Scotland and discovered manuscripts and genealogical records that shed light on the Monroe family's Scottish heritage. He learned about their involvement in Scottish clans and their role in shaping the country's cultural and political landscape. Connecting across continents throughout his journey, Alex maintained communication with Catherine and other Monroe descendants, sharing his findings and exchanging insights into their shared heritage. They collaborated on research projects, organized family reunions, and discussed ways to preserve and celebrate the Monroe family's global legacy. Their partnership transcended borders and united Monroe descendants from around the world in a shared mission of historical preservation. Legacy of service. In each country he visited, Alex uncovered stories of Monroe family members who had made significant contributions to their communities and countries. From military service to political leadership, from artistic endeavors to scientific discoveries, the Monroe family's legacy of service and innovation spanned continents and centuries. Alex documented these stories, preserving them for future generations to honor and learn from. Reflection and gratitude. As Alex journeyed through Europe, he took moments to reflect on his own journey of discovery and the impact it had on his understanding of identity and heritage. He visited ancestral gravesites, attended historical reenactments, and immersed himself in local cultures to gain a deeper appreciation for the experiences that had shaped his ancestors' lives. Continuing the story, as his European expedition drew to a close, Alex returned to Philadelphia with a wealth of new knowledge and experiences. He continued to collaborate with Catherine and other Monroe descendants on educational initiatives, publications, and exhibits that celebrated the Monroe family's global heritage. Together, they ensured that the Monroe family's story would continue to inspire and educate future generations about the power of resilience, perseverance, and the enduring bonds of family. As Alex Monroe concluded his European journey, he knew that the quest to uncover his family's history was ongoing. The Monroe family's legacy was not confined to a single country or continent. It was a tapestry woven from diverse experiences and contributions that spanned the globe. With Catherine by his side and Monroe descendants around the world, Alex Monroe embraced the future with hope and determination, ready to continue the journey of preserving and celebrating his family's rich and enduring legacy.